dialed in this morning?
Kat, it's me. I'm always dialed in, and it's my duty to make sure you all are just as fired up. Record. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to dial in. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Collin O'Callahan.
I'm Ryan Curtin.
And this is probably the best part of May when it comes to football because tonight, the NFL schedule officially comes out.
More importantly, we get a new Chargers schedule reveal video. So keep an eye out for that.
Well, the Chargers do have the best social media team in football.
They do. We should, like last week we did the best fans. We should do the best social media pages.
I mean, they got more social media content creators than they do fans, so I guess that makes sense.
It's true. Yeah, that is our fan base, the social media team.
So there are a few laundry list items that we got to get to first, but yes, the NFL schedule, the full one comes out today. And, earlier this week, they've, released like a lot of, juicy details and a lot of leaks, like what the games are going to be in week 1, international-wise, Thanksgiving, the Christmas slate, which is freaking fantastic, by the way. But we'll get to that in just a second. Let's get a few things out of the way first. Yesterday, the third season of Quarterback has officially been announced. It will come out July 14th. And the 4 quarterbacks that will be featured are Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, and everyone's favorite, Joe Flacco.
Pro Bowler Joe Flacco.
Pro Bowler. They should have had Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders, too. Oh my goodness. That would have been interesting. But
yeah,
I'm excited for this one. I mean, yes, none of them made the playoffs, but like everybody, I think like they're all likable personalities. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, when it comes to Joe Flacco, I mean, how could it get any better than that?
Yeah, well, and I mean, Jaden Daniels, obviously he was dealing with a lot of injuries last season. And I think it'll be interesting to get that perspective of how he bounces back. To sort of hear what he's doing in terms of rehab, how he's preparing for next season. Is he changing his game plan at all to try and, lower his chances of getting hurt again?
Right.
Same with Cam Ward, actually. I mean, obviously he's got offensive line issues over there as well. Seeing the learning curve there. Baker, great character, great guy. And then, Joe Flacco. That's going to be interesting to see how he's still able to move out there.
The Cam Ward story, that's just going to be, I'm going to feel like incredibly sad for him. Just him getting completely sent out there to die pretty much every single week. But it's funny. I was talking about like one of my friends from back home, and he was saying, for next season, they should really have Fernando Mendoza on. And I was thinking to myself, like, Mendoza, it's like, it's a little too early, but B, more importantly, it's like he might not start right away. But then I started thinking, I'm like, you know what? That actually might be a good person to have because you actually get to see, like, okay, if rookies are not going to start right away, it's a good chance for them to see, like, okay, what do they do in the building? What do they do on the sidelines? Like, pretty much it's like what, backups back in the day were doing with, the clipboard and things like that with the headset. So, yeah, but I mean, I'm personally excited for this season.
Yeah,
so.
Well, and they had Marcus Mariota on
they did.
Quarterback the first season, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it wouldn't be, unprecedented for them to have a backup in. But
exactly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's on next season for sure. But, yeah, this season should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and last year they had Kirk Cousins on, which is the second time, and he ended up getting benched. So it is like a good perspective to have, like, okay, what happens after you go through something like that? So it'll be exciting.
Yeah, well, and that's the nice thing, too, about this season is you got guys at different stages of their career. Obviously, Cam Ward just finished his rookie season. Jane Daniels going into his third year now.
Yep.
Obviously had the rookie season, won Rookie of the Year. We're going to see how he bounces back after hurt last season. Baker Mayfield, really up and down career. And then, like I said, Joe Flacco, really sort of at the last season of his career, perhaps. Yep. Coming up in the next year or so.
Absolutely. Well, quarterbacks are not the only ones that are, sharing the spotlight. A couple of AFC East running backs officially got paid. Breece Hall signed a 3-year, $45 million extension with the Jets, and Achane with the Miami Dolphins for 4 years, $64 million. So after the two were lingering in trade rumors for the past few months, they're staying put for the next few years. So honestly, for them, considering like the states that both franchises are in, big wins for both of them.
Yeah, no, getting your young running backs on for long-term contracts, really the anchor of both of those teams, at least on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you can't really imagine the team without them, especially because what's their next option? Those are the guys on those two teams. Like, there's nobody else on that on either offense that's really worth being like, oh, I'm excited about this guy. I guess you still got Garrett Wilson over in New York, but yeah, no, I mean, you need someone like Breece Hall and you need someone like Achane if you're the Jets and the Dolphins.
Yeah, especially with the quarterback situation that the Jets are in right now, it's not going to be good. But, I mean, because you got Geno, then you got Kate Klubnik, then you got Brady Cook, and then it's Bailey Zappi. Ugh. I mean, and Eric Glenn's the one that says Geno's going to get them to the promised land. I'm like, yeah, the promised land in irrelevance. Yeah. I definitely like the Achane signing. Well, here it's weird because it's like, initially you think, okay, you like the Achane signing a lot better because you're giving Malik Willis something, and he signs to like a longer-term deal. But like with Breece Hall, it's like, you got to make sure that you're giving whichever quarterback is out there just something to work with. Obviously, you got Garrett Wilson, like you just mentioned, but like, say that Geno fizzles out and Kate Klubnik's not really the answer, and Arch Manning all of a sudden goes off in college. You're probably giving him at least like a good check down option or like a good safety blanket just to make sure that, you know, you have someone to be there for you in the backfield if no one else is open. So, yeah.
And that's how Tua was using Devon Achane for the most part, was just using him as a check down option. He got, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think he got about 5 receptions a game last year, at least Achane. And Breece Hall, I mean, he was obviously more used in the running game, but I mean, he certainly was able to get stuff done in the passing game as well.
Yeah. I was thinking to myself, like, who's the offensive coordinator for the Dolphins? And then I realized it was Bobby Slowick. So, I mean, it's a good chance for him to, like, kind of bounce back, you know, try to prove that, hey, I wasn't really the problem in Houston. It was really C.J. Stroud. And he's kind of been justified over the past year or two now. And then I realized the passing game coordinator is Kevin Patullo, who just got canned from Philly. So,
yeah, not known for being a great passing team.
The only thing he's been known for is his house getting egged on by Eagles fans, which I'm not supporting. I'm just saying it's like, that's just kind of the reputation he's built. But I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm hoping Malik Willis does well. The Jets, well, when you combine Geno Smith and Frank Reich, I just don't know.
Yeah, expectations are low.
Yeah, but Hall and Achane are staying put. But
I was going to say, are we ready to move on to the biggest signing of perhaps all of the offseason?
Yeah, the biggest one.
Biggest splash.
Chargers tight end, David Njoku.
Woo!
1-year deal worth $8 million. I'm surprised you're as excited as you are right now, to be quite honest with you. But hey, he's a decent tight end.
Yeah, he's a decent tight end. And I mean, the other options right now, I mean, we have Oronde Gadsden. He's sort of he was our tight end one going into the season before we signed Njoku. And I mean, obviously he's a great route runner, and you know, I see a lot of potential in him, but I think he's got a long way to go before he's a true tight end one for the team. And then other than that, I mean, you got a lot of blocking tight ends. Charlie Kolar obviously being the main one on the team. They just signed him in the offseason as well. So I think with Njoku, you sort of get the best of both worlds. He's a big body, not necessarily known for his blocking, but he's going to be more effective in that regard than Gadsden would be.
Yeah.
And I mean, Njoku's also had some dropping issues, but I think, you know, he has more experience. He is a big target in the red zone, an easy guy to throw to for Justin Herbert. And, you know, I think he's going to do well in this offense, and he's going to be a good, I mean, obviously 1-year deal. I think he can be a good short-term solution as Gadsden develops more into this Chargers offense.
Yeah, I don't think David Njoku is going to be like your surefire starting tight end. Because number one, he's been really banged up over the last couple of years. Number two, you know, he kind of lost, I wouldn't say he lost his starting job, but he kind of like lost a lot of his snaps to Harold Fairdon Jr., who I think is going to be, you know, a pretty good player in the NFL. But yeah, I think it does give, you know, Justin Herbert like extra depth to work with. I mean, you brought up the tight ends that they got, Gadsden and Kolar, so I feel like they're going to try to use those two more. I mean, it's Jim Harbaugh. You know they're going to go 12 personnel. They're going to run the football a lot, and, you know, that's what Njoku is kind of brought in to do, just be that goal line option and, you know, not be that, you know, heavy downfield threat that he used to be like earlier in his career, just more of like the short yardage situation. So, I mean, I personally don't mind it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, again, it's another option. And I think we both sort of touched on the red zone options. Like, Justin Herbert didn't really have like a big guy in the red zone to go to. I mean, I guess, like the best option there, I guess, other than Oronde Gadsden, was Quentin Johnston. Like, he's a big guy, but again, still a lot of issues with dropping, and not necessarily the best route runner either. Like, he's more of a deep threat than a red zone target, I'd say. So, Yeah, I mean, I think David Njoku checks that box, and I think it'll be interesting to see what he does in this Mike McDaniel offense, because the Dolphins were a team that really relied on their tight ends a lot over the last couple years.
Right.
A resurgence for Darren Waller as well the last year. So we could see the same with Njoku on the Chargers.
I forgot Waller came out of retirement. I mean, he started off the season strong, and then predictably, the injuries just caught up.
Yeah, injury bug.
But anyways, let's get to the schedule now. So week 1, the official schedule got leaked. I think it might have been Iron Marov that on Twitter, but there were a few matchups that the NFL announced leading up to it. So I technically wouldn't say it's a leak. But anyways, opening game, the Seattle Seahawks are hosting the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl rematch. Both rosters might look a little different, but I mean, listen, I'm not going to be too hopeful and optimistic about it.
I was going to say, how are you feeling? It sounds like you're not all that confident.
Honestly, do I think there's a chance the Patriots could win? Yes. Do I think it'll happen? Probably not, because I mean, Seattle's defense didn't really change too much over this past offseason. I think the only player they lost was Rick Woolen to Philly. Yeah. So I think, and more importantly, the Patriots' offensive line, I mean, it didn't get a whole lot better. I know they signed Elijah Vera-Tucker, but the guy can never really stay healthy. They are moving Jarrett Wilson over to center. They have a chance to see what Caleb Lomo is going to be able to do in this offensive line, pairing him with Will Campbell and Owenu. And the Seattle Seahawks defense just has more continuity than the Patriots offense does. And say that they do get A.J. Brown, you got to be able to figure out how he can evolve in this offense. Romeo Doubs coming in. So I think it's a huge test to start the season. I mean, there were some leaks that I saw on Twitter where the Patriots, 3 of their first 4 games of the year are on the road, and they're against quality teams. So yeah, the Patriots could definitely realistically start the season 1-3. I think if they go 2-2, it's a success based off the opponents that they're going to play. But yeah, this might be a dud, because even though Kenneth Walker's gone, I think if Sam Darnold just does enough and just doesn't make any mistakes, then they can win it just the way they did, in the Super Bowl. So
yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate your honesty, because I mean, I think the Patriots aren't completely out of it, but it would be very surprising to see the Patriots start off this season with a win in Seattle, especially after losing to that pretty much the same squad in the Super Bowl last year, even if they add A.J. Brown. But it'll be, I mean, again, it's always interesting to see what these teams look like to start the year. So, I mean, I wouldn't count them out just yet. But yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to imagine the Seahawks losing opening night.
Yeah. And then the next day, well, first of all, I should mention this. The opening game of the season, it's on a Wednesday. And the reason why is because the Rams and the 49ers will be playing in Melbourne, which will be Friday there, but it'll be Thursday night here in the States. I mean, this matchup already got announced a few weeks ago, or sometime then. But yeah, this is going to be one. I mean, anytime Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan go head to head, you just know it's going to be one heck of a thriller. I don't know if you want to add a couple thoughts.
No, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, my only thought, I was thinking about this a minute ago too. Obviously this game was announced before the Patriots Seahawks. I would have honestly kind of loved to see Rams Seahawks in the kickoff game.
Yeah.
I think that would have been, again, no offense to your Patriots, but I mean, based on the way the NFC Championship went, I think Rams Seahawks would have been a really electric start to the season. But I mean, this is, again, a great game, a great introduction for the NFL in Australia. Rams, 49ers, you said it, McVay, Shanahan, 2 of the best offensive minds in football. Yeah, no, I mean, both of these games will be a really fun way to start off the year. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for football to come back.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I kind of agree. I figured the Rams would play the Seahawks to start the year, but then that Melbourne game announced, I was like, okay, that's probably not going to happen.
And it knocked out the 49ers.
And the 49ers.
It could have been either one.
I feel like, maybe the Bears, but I'm like, maybe it would have been a little too early. But yeah, this is only the second Super Bowl rematch, because back in 2016, the Broncos played the Panthers, and Denver was able to hang on that one. Trevor Siemian outplaying Cam Newton, by the way. So that's a good fun fact. But then, there are a lot of fun, exciting Week 1 games that got announced, but Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, it's Chiefs versus Broncos. And then Sunday Night Football, I did not like this at all.
Yeah, no.
Giants, Cowboys at MetLife. And the only reason why I didn't like it is because, first of all, it feels like almost every other year the Giants and Cowboys are always playing each other week 1, and it's mainly on primetime. But when you think of the fact that the Bills and Lions are playing in week 2 on Thursday Night Football, I'm just like, how is this not the week 1 Sunday night thriller, especially when the Bills are going to be able to play in their new stadium?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. Yeah, I mean, the Giants and the Cowboys play so often, it feels like, in prime time. And like right now, neither of those teams are particularly good.
No.
They haven't done enough to prove to me that they're deserving of that Sunday Night Football slot.
But it's also Jerry Jones.
No, and I mean that's why they're playing Sunday Night Football. But like I feel like that's more of an America's game of the week, week 1, Fox at the 4:20 slot, right?
Yeah, with Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady, per usual.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would make sense because the Cowboys have that slot literally every other week that they're not in prime time.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, Giants, Cowboys, Sunday night. Like, if it was Eagles, Cowboys, Sunday night, now we're talking. Even Commanders, Cowboys. Like, hell yeah.
Possibly. And then with the Monday night game, it's like, listen, if the Chiefs were fully healthy, I would definitely like this, especially in Kansas City. Like, those two going head-to-head, Denver winning the division last year and the Chiefs trying to prove that last year was a fluke. I get it, but, like, you don't even know if Patrick Mahomes is going to be healthy. Yeah. And do you really want to see Justin Fields versus Bo Nix?
Yeah, and Bo, I mean, I guess Bo Nix should be healthy by then, too, but he's also coming off of a season-ending injury, in quotes, because he only missed the one game. But, no, I mean, that was a pretty serious injury. So, like, even if it is Mahomes versus Bo Nix, you can't really imagine that either of those quarterbacks are going to be 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, those are like the main headliners for week 1. And then obviously we talked about week 2. We're not going to like go through what happened every single week, but I do want to like bring up the most important one. So the international games got announced, I want to say it's either yesterday or 2 days ago. So we talked about the Rams 49ers, obviously. Week 3, the Ravens are playing the Cowboys in Brazil. I think we knew that already, like a couple weeks ago, or maybe a little while further back. But then the remaining games got announced. The Colts and Commanders will be playing in London in week 4.
Interesting.
Yep. The week 5 and 6, the Jaguars are playing back-to-back games in London. The first game in Hotspur against the Eagles. And then at Wembley, they're playing the Texans. So those games are going to be really exciting. Yeah. I can't wait for that. Week 7, the Steelers versus the Saints in Paris. Oui.
Yeah.
So can't wait for that one. Interesting. Week 9, the Bengals are playing the Falcons in Madrid.
Okay.
So it's only the second game in Spain, so I can't wait for that. Week 10, though, the Patriots versus the Lions in Germany. I have been waiting for the Patriots to play in Germany for a while now, and I'm absolutely excited.
Well, why specifically Germany?
Well, because like watching the first game, hosted in Germany, it was the Bucs versus the Seahawks. Like hearing the crowd like get so excited and animated, and you'd be surprised because you wouldn't really think that the NFL would be as popular in international countries as soccer, obviously. Yeah. But like, just hearing that atmosphere and hearing that type of environment and knowing that the Patriots are gonna like have a chance to play in it for the first time, that's gonna be exciting. And honestly, I'm more confident about the Patriots beating the Lions at Germany than I do about them beating the Seahawks in week 1, because with the Lions, it's just like, Jared Goff never really plays that great whenever he goes up against us. And I mean, the Lions defense is always like one of those like mid units at best and then very shaky at their worst. I mean, the Lions are definitely the more likable team, obviously. You got Dan Campbell in that roster, it's like, you never know. But yeah, I feel confident about that. And then the final one, week 11, Vikings versus 49ers in Mexico. It's been a long time since the NFL did a game in that country, so that'll be exciting. But like, which one are you like most hyped for?
Yeah, if you had to choose. This is a pretty good lineup of games. I think Patriots versus Lions, you hit on it, so I'm not going to talk more about that one, but I do think that's certainly a contender for the best. Other than that, probably Texans versus Jaguars at Wembley Stadium. I mean, Wembley Stadium's always such a fun stadium for NFL teams to play at.
It's a fun stadium for anything.
For anything, really, yeah. But I mean, when the NFL goes there, it's usually always a good game, a great stadium, really passionate fan base over in London, especially for the Jaguars. And they're playing the Texans too. So, I mean, it's a division rivalry, two really great teams that made the playoffs last year. I think both teams were just a few plays away from potentially making a run in those playoffs. I guess the Texans were a little further than the Jaguars, based on the way they played against the Patriots. But no, I mean, again, both of these teams I think are going to be pretty good still going into this next season. Obviously, they got some players and lost some players on both sides, as it always goes. But yeah, no, I mean, these two teams, yeah, I'm excited to see them play. It's a division rivalry, so it's going to be intense. It's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, great stadium too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the two Jaguars games are going to be definitely exciting. I'm hoping that Jaguars don't have the same season that they did in 2023, where they just, they get off to a strong start, but then you see some slippage, and then they just implode and miss the playoffs. But not going to jinx anything just yet. Let's transition a little bit to the Thanksgiving games, and this is going to be the first time that the NFL does this. So obviously you got the 3 Thanksgiving games, but Thanksgiving Eve, November 25th, we got a game. We got Wednesday Night Football again between the Packers versus the Rams at SoFi on Netflix. That's going to be an interesting match. I'm really excited for that one.
Well, I guess also just sort of going off of that, what do you think about Wednesday Night Football games?
It's definitely weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, watching live sports on Wednesday is always, a good way to just decompress after a long day. But that's like baseball or basketball or hockey or whatever, even tennis if you're into that. With football, it's like, hey, for me, it's like the more the merrier. But I know for a lot of the players and for a lot of the coaches, it's like, okay, it's just a lot more wear and tear. It's a lot longer hours. I mean, I feel like for the NFL standpoint, it's like, okay, you're making more money. And from a compensation standpoint, when it comes to contracts and salaries, you're getting more in terms of that. But I think from a physical standpoint, if you're playing on a Sunday and all of a sudden you only have to play a game in 3 days, I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that the Packers and the Rams have a bye week before that, which I'm going to guess that's the case. Then I just think I don't know. It has its pros and its cons.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I'm sure they will have a bye before or after as well. But I mean, I'm with you. I think it's fun to watch football always, but having these players play on a Wednesday, even if they do get a bye after, it does impact them either way, messing with their schedules like this. You do sort of get into a rhythm or a flow, and having these Wednesday games it really messes with them.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it makes them more likely to get injured.
And it's also similar to when the NFL expanded their schedule and they said, okay, every team is going to have 2 Thursday night games. I'm like, why? What's the point? Just have another team getting into the mix. You don't need to have unless you're the Cowboys or a top tier team that's going to be in the playoffs every year. It's I mean, you kind of get it why. In theory, it's okay, you want the best teams to dominate that certain primetime slot because it doesn't do as well as Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. But at the same time, it's just like I said, from a physical standpoint, it's just if you're going to keep beating them up and they're going to get sent home every year, there's kind of a probable justification for it.
Yeah. That being said, Packers versus Rams is going to be a great game.
I think so. I agree. Because Micah Parsons is going to be back healthy. So that Packers defense is going to give that Rams offense a pretty big test. And, with Green Bay's offense, you just, listen, Romeo Doubs is gone and you still have Jordan Love, but you're also trying to figure out, okay, who's going to be your number one focal point in that passing attack? And when you think of the Rams defense, it might not be the most star-studded unit, but they have so much versatility on all 3 levels. And they could be a very scrappy and feisty unit, and they could really hold their own against Green Bay. So we'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully that, barring injury, I would say the Rams definitely win that game. But, I mean, things can move very, very quickly in the sports world.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And that's one of the reasons why I was thinking it should be Rams-Seahawks in that opening game.
Yeah.
Just because I think the Rams have gotten better in the offseason. Obviously, they got Trent McDuffie. That was a big missing piece of the puzzle, their secondary. So I think it would have been cool to see a potential revenge game for the Rams against the Seahawks opening night.
Yeah.
But, we'll see them the next day and then here Thanksgiving Eve and what should be a really great game.
Yep. And then the next day, it's the feast. So the Bears will be playing the Lions in Detroit. The last time that happened, it was the very inexplicable clock management fiasco that cost Matt Eberflus his job.
Yep.
Then we got the Eagles versus Cowboys, 4:30. Honestly, I'm I mean, you talked about, Cowboys, Eagles. You would have rather had that on Sunday Night Football. I am perfectly fine with this being the second Thanksgiving game. And hey,
me too.
Dallas has a really strong chance of winning that game because if they could beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, they could definitely beat the Eagles, especially since Jalen Hurts hasn't really beaten Dak Prescott in Dallas in his career. So
yeah, no, I mean, if the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving every year, obviously, and if you're going to watch the Cowboys play football on Thanksgiving, might as well be against their biggest rivals in the Eagles.
Absolutely. And then the final game at night, we got the Chiefs versus Bills, and NBC got it, so we don't have to hear we go, Jim.
Yeah. We do get to hear here's a guy though, with Patrick Mahomes probably back by then.
He'll definitely be.
And Josh Allen. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, he'll be back by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely have more solidified opinions as this game goes. But usually, anytime I see that the Chiefs are playing the Bills in the regular season, it's okay, Buffalo's gonna get this one, and then if they see each other in the playoffs again, the Chiefs are gonna win that one. But yeah, for the Chiefs, the pressure's on them more than anything because the Bills are okay, we've proven to beat you, at least in these types of circumstances. The Chiefs have to find something inside of them to make them believe okay, we usually kick their ass in the playoffs. Why can't we do that in October or November? I know that doesn't mean too much in the grand scheme of things, but yeah, Kansas City definitely has some hell to pay.
Yeah, when you first started saying, when the Chiefs play the Bills, I thought you were going to make a Jim Nance joke. You're going to be like, oh, here we go. A Tony Romo joke. Excuse me. Oh, here we go, Jim. Oh, it's going to be a good one.
Nope. Just, Patrick Mahomes. We got to deal with that for 3 hours.
Now here's a guy. Oh, yeah.
But Christmas. So we got 3 Christmas games once again. I think, and there's a Christmas Eve game taking place. Actually, is Christmas Eve on a Thursday? It is. So that makes a lot of sense.
Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night. Texans versus Eagles. Interesting. The defenses are going to come to play, but the offenses are the ones that are going to be really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And not in a good way if you really think about it.
No, not at all in a good way. Especially since the Eagles are probably going to take a step back without A.J. Brown. Who are they really going to... I mean, they got Devontae Smith and
Mekhi
Lemon, but are they really going to be able to outmatch that Texan secondary?
I mean, Reed Blankenship is on that other side, and he's Reed Blankenship, former Eagle, now a Texan. It's Houston's defense might have the answers to the test before the test is even given.
Yeah.
But the Christmas games, I think, are going to be outstanding because you start with Packers versus Bears in Soldier Field. Hopefully, I'm still living here by then so I can actually watch that game. The Patriots are playing the Bears in Chicago too, so there you go. Not on Christmas, though. The Bills are playing the Broncos in the second one. So it's a rematch of the AFC Divisional, and I think this one's in Denver, so even more of a bigger fight. And then you mentioned it, Rams versus Seahawks.
About time.
In Seattle. And funny enough, I actually just got this on Twitter. The Seahawks and Rams, who played 3 times last season, won't face each other this season until Week 16. So this is the first matchup.
Oh, wow.
And then 2 weeks later, they meet each other again in SoFi. So who knows where those 2 teams will be by then?
I mean, you assume that both of those teams are going to be pretty similar to where they were last year. Because, it wasn't Week 16 that they played last year in that, was it Thursday night game, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't Week 16, but it was pretty late in the year, and that was a deciding game in both of their seasons. I mean, the winner of that game, the Seahawks, obviously went on to take the top seed in the NFC.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's similar stakes here on Christmas.
Yeah, and more importantly, you don't have to worry, okay, you just got to make sure Darnold doesn't implode at the worst possible time. You have that in the back of your mind, but you've also seen in that regular season game in the fourth quarter and overtime, and then more importantly in the NFC Championship where he just played out of his mind, that he is capable of having those superstar type of performances. So I'm happy that the NFL didn't screw up with the holiday games because if it were, or I'm hoping that they don't screw it up because if these teams end up being as good as we think they're going to be, then the ratings are going to go through the roof. Even bigger than the NBA, which is saying a lot because, Christmas is supposed to be basketball's game, and yet the football games that we watched last year were way more intriguing and fun to watch than the NBA, at least from my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, the morning game, what was the morning game? It was Cowboys-Commanders.
It was Cowboys-Commanders,
and
then...
great, but...
I mean, Commanders kept it feisty and competitive.
True.
I mean, yeah, both of them ended up missing the playoffs, but it's like, it ended up being like, it gave us like a little bit of excitement to be like, okay, the Cowboys might lose this one. The second one, I know the third one was Broncos Chiefs.
Yes.
But the Chiefs ended up, playing like their third stringers.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, oh, that's right, it was Vikings Lions, and that was when Detroit completely imploded and missed the playoffs because of the turnovers.
Yes.
So hopefully we kind of get similar outcomes to where it's like, okay, you're hoping that all these games are competitive, but more importantly, you're hoping that, like, if you're a fan of like a division rival, you're just like, oh, I just want this team to like completely implode at the worst possible time. That's what makes the holidays and what makes sports watching on those days like so exciting and fun, because like obviously you want to spend as much time with family as possible, but like that's just like a perfect distraction to be like, okay, we don't have to worry about like not having to be on our phones for 8 hours, or like we can like actually look forward to something besides going to church at like 10 a.m. or something.
Yeah, well, no, and I think, you talked about you hope that all these games are going to be good ones, and it seems like a pretty safe bet that all of these are going to be really great games. It's a lot of the same teams, a lot of the Bills, a lot of the Chiefs, a lot of the Eagles, Broncos are in here a few times, Rams, Seahawks.
Yeah.
And even like looking at the international games, in the past we've gotten some years where there have been some really bad international games.
Right.
The only one that I can foresee potentially being a dud down the road would be Steelers Saints.
Maybe. Depending on like...
depending on what their quarterback situation is. Like, is Tyler Shuck going to step up in his second year?
Yeah. Is Aaron Rodgers coming back?
I know. Is he still going to be there? We still don't know that yet.
The week 4 one, like, I am very interested to see how that goes, because it's like, you obviously knew like what the Colts could be at full strength, but you're just hoping that, Daniel Jones doesn't suffer the same fate that he did, the year after he got his contract extension when he was with the Giants. And when they had to franchise tag Saquon, and when like things were kind of in a limbo and everything fell apart after the year they made the playoffs. So, and more importantly, you're just hoping that the Commanders like completely bounce back after the injury-riddled mess that they had the year before. So that might be like the one game where I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that both teams are in a good spot then. Last year when the Browns played the Vikings, I was like, why in the world are we watching this? Because like, you knew Cleveland was not going to be good. Mm-hmm. And with the Vikings, you're just like, even if they somehow win, which they ended up doing, it's like, you don't know how good the quarterback situation is going to be. And it turned out it wasn't great. Otherwise, they wouldn't have signed Kyler Murray.
Right. But yeah, I mean, really, other than that, you've got some great games. I mean, I guess Bengals-Falcons is one that could also be a bit of a downer depending on how the Bengals' health situation is.
And the Falcons' quarterback situation.
But I mean, the rest of these are all certified bangers, if I do say so myself.
Right. Well, the rest of the schedule comes out in approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes. So we'll be able to know like what the rest of these games are moving forward. But thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for additional content. And yeah, we're officially in the dead period of the offseason. So honestly, next week it's going to be interesting. But hey, training camp begins in 2 months, so can't wait for that.
Yeah, there's always something to talk about with football.
Absolutely. So. All right, take care, everyone. We'll see you next time, and so long, everyone.
See ya.
All righty.